Cyberpunk, Avengers, and Bandicoots, oh my! What up, viewers? What up, what up? Today is Friday, June 26th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Like I said, starting off this week talking about what happened yesterday, which was the Cyberpunk 2077 Night City Wire. The CD Projekt Red is planning on doing like kind of monthly updates until they get to their launch in November, and it started yesterday. They were kind of going through the typical things. They talked about why they were delayed. They wanted to do a lot of bug fixing. They're just kind of building up anticipation for the game. Going through it, talking about the different quests and the things that some of the developers were looking forward to. A lot of the characters were given a lot of time and talked about a lot of like the interactions that people were looking forward to. This coming from CD Projekt Red from The Witcher, like the side quests are going to be amazing, like they were in Witcher 3. So they were talking a lot about how that whole process works. They are putting an anime on Netflix in 2022 that is based around the RPG Cyberpunk 2020. So yeah, those anime fans. I'm not the biggest anime fan, but I might watch it just to see what it's all about. And then there was, I wasn't part of it, but there was a lot of people giving their opinions on like the 4-hour demo, and they talked a lot about like the character customization, some of the sexier parts of the character customization. Yeah, so there was a lot of details around Cyberpunk. I didn't think there was too much to talk about here, but that was a big piece of news this week. Also, Marvel Avengers had what are they calling theirs? Their update is now called, I think, War Rooms, and they showed a lot more of the gameplay than we knew. Like we knew it was in like a kind of action RPG multiplayer focused, but now we got like actual gameplay. We got story missions. We know what those are going to look like, where you kind of pick a character and you're like following their story. They also talked about the team up missions. These are the multiplayer part of it, the like raids, like the Destiny raids, where you team up with friends, and then your character's level as well as your friend's character's level. And if you don't, if you just wanted to solo a raid, they would throw in some AI companions for you to team up with. And then they established who the big bad guy was. MODOK. Mental organism designed only for killing, I believe is what the acronym for MODOK is. He's going to be the big bad guy. He's pretty famous in the comics, but he hasn't been anywhere in the MCU, so they really wanted to differentiate themselves and bring in a new big baddie. So they went with MODOK, and so that's who we'll be facing. I forget what his whole thing is. I mean, he's got a big face and he's really smart. I think he has to do with like he can control technology with his mind, which is going to be fun to see how him and Iron Man kind of interact. The one thing I heard was when they were showing the Thor gameplay that Thor is responsible for killing Captain America, which I think that maybe I don't quite understand what's going on there, and I don't remember too much from the comics around this, but I thought that was really interesting and kind of like a throwaway line that I don't know if a lot of people picked up on. Crash Bandicoot is coming out with Crash Bandicoot 4. It's been, I can't even calculate how long it's been since Crash Bandicoot 3. I think that was a PlayStation 2 game, so 2 console generations ago. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot 4 looks a little fun. It looks like a lot of the Crash platforming that you enjoyed, but this is a full new sequel. So I think they're using some of the money from the Insane trilogy to kind of keep this going because they want to bring it back and possibly for the next console generation. So looking forward to playing Crash Bandicoot 4. Well, maybe I'm not, but Angela really likes Crash Bandicoot, so I might pre-order it for her. Last of Us 2, the sales are finally in. Sony was right. I believe it was like Jim Ryan back in May was starting to brag about how there was a lot of pre-orders and that The Last of Us 2 is going to be a big seller, and it's finally come in. So Last of Us 2 has sold 4 million units in 3 days. And so this is the fastest PS4 exclusive has ever, the fastest selling pre-order PS4 exclusive. Yeah, so back in 2018, God of War set the record with 3 million units sold in 3 days. And then later that year, Spider-Man beat out by selling 3.3 million units in 3 days. And now The Last of Us 2 sells 4 million units in 3 days. So I'm glad to see that the negative press hasn't really, the negative response on the internet hasn't really hurt them. They got really good reviews. People I think were anticipating, and even the people who I think were talking bad about it, I think that might have even given it more coverage. I don't necessarily believe in no bad press, but it did get a lot of coverage while people were poo-pooing the story for the leaks and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm really glad that they've sold that much. I think some of it might have to do with the large install base. There's 40 million more PlayStations in the market than there were back in 2018, so maybe that number's a little high, but bigger install base is going to sell a little bit faster. Just kind of the things I think about from time to time. Mixer is dying. Microsoft's streaming platform. Microsoft's competitor to like Twitch and YouTube streaming, game streaming platform is dying. So they spent, I think the numbers are out there now that like they spent $30 million on Ninja, they spent $10 million on Shroud, and all that money is going to waste because they're letting their platform die. I think there's a deal with Facebook Gaming that anybody who is partnered on Mixer will be partnered on Facebook Gaming. And what Microsoft's getting out of this deal is that Facebook Gaming and Microsoft's xCloud will work better. I didn't quite understand the details of that part of the arrangement, but for all those big streamers that are now technically free agents. So I think Ninja might be going back. I don't know what Ninja's going to do, but I think, maybe he goes back to Twitch and continues that. Or maybe he goes to Facebook Gaming, if they want to give him more money. I don't know where all these streamers are going to go. I've been criticizing the deal to kind of buy Ninja to a different platform. I've seen a lot of videos talking about, streaming platforms are made up by a base and not by buying people at the top. So, every time I talk about Fortnite, it seems like I'm setting it up as a platform. They've done the Travis Scott concert. They've done these like big over the top things. There's another concert I think that's coming up. They've done the Marshmallow concert. Like, I always talk about like Fortnite is more than just a game. It's like a social media platform almost. And yeah, that's really showing through. The Tenet trailer, I believe, was last month. And during that, Christopher Nolan said that he's going to put one of his movies in Fortnite. And so now Fortnite, which is I think happening right now, Fortnite is playing Inception. It was set to go off at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is 5 p.m. Pacific. So technically, Inception I think was a long movie, so I don't know that it's quite over. So I'm technically competing with Fortnite and Inception right now. But yeah, it's Fortnite is definitely more than a game now. So and there's just more and more evidence, and this is more evidence to stack onto the pile. So it's interesting that a game is so big that it's a social media platform almost. So yeah, crazy times. The Oculus Go has been halted in production, I had a funnier line of the Oculus Go has stopped because it's no longer going. So the Oculus Go, there will be no more production for the Oculus Go. They're looking to double down on the Oculus Quest, which I heard is selling like hotcakes. It's a really good platform, unattached platform right now for you to play VR games. And so Facebook is no longer supporting, I think, games being put on the store as of December of this year. They won't be producing any more Oculus Go's like almost effective immediately. So so if you want to get in on the Oculus, if you want to play Oculus games in the near future, you're gonna have to pick up a Quest. And if you already have an Oculus Go, then you're kind of SOL. Moving right along, the Steam Summer Sale has started up, so it's officially summer, and the Steam Summer Sale gives you more and more excuses to, pull out the wallet and pay $5 for a game that you can just throw into your Steam library. No, I'm a little jaded on it just because I have a lot of games in my Steam library that I'm not playing. But yeah, this is the second best time of the year to buy PC games is right now. With the Steam sale. So get out those wallets, pay $4.38 for a game that you've been waiting to play for 3 years, and yeah, pick them up. Let me know what you buy. I've got a couple on my list. I saw The Witness was less than $10, and I really wanted to play that back in the day, so I might play through that at some point. But let me know what you pick up in the Steam Summer Sale. Not necessarily video games, but the Cuphead Netflix show. We got the first 45-second trailer of the Cuphead Netflix show, and the game looks, the show looks great. I really like the art style. I think everybody likes the Cuphead art style. I think it got a few video game awards back when it first came out. I'm all in on Cuphead. I like it. I can't wait to see the show. I saw the coming soon at the end, so I don't know if that means in the next couple months. Or 2021, but I'm really excited for it, and considering what we saw in the trailer, kind of how far they are along with the animations and the characters, and they even had the voice actors come in and introduce themselves. I thought that was really cool, and it looks good. The one thing I thought was kind of unique was I always thought Cuphead was this big, he was the superhero, and then Mugman was the Robin to Cuphead's Batman, but it really seems like Cuphead is the zany one, and then Mugman's the down-to-earth Alfred type, I guess, where he's he's trying to keep it level and even keel, and Cuphead's just out there being zany. So I really thought that was a cool dynamic. Last but certainly not least, more in the summer spirit is summer has finally come to Animal Crossing, so you can go out and hang out on beaches with your friends. You just have to do it virtually within Animal Crossing. Yep, so they've added swimming, and you can now do dives. So this might actually be a big enough thing to get more and more people back into Animal Crossing, as people have kind of drifted away from their islands. No pun intended. Yeah, this might actually bring some people back. I think it's really I feel the ability to swim, adding a new mechanic is significant. Adding more dresses or DIYs or different things to wear, I don't think is quite enough to bring people back into the game. But something a whole new mechanic, a whole new way to explore, whether or not I can swim while I'm on a ticket island, while I'm visiting another island, that's really interesting, and adds a whole new ecosystem. They talked about a few characters that they're adding. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you do, follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. Links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye!